Domain layer in the structure of clean architecture is one of the most independent layer from any other layer. This layer holds three important directories that are repository, entities, and the use cases. Repository is core contract class which holds all the features of the app which will later be implemented in the data layer using the solid last principle dependency inversion. The boundaries between layers must be handled with interfaces or in Dart, the abstract classes. And the entities are the business objects which contain the data which we're going to store in the database. The database in our case is Cloud Firestore database. Entities are the classes that later becomes the superclasses of their model classes, and the model class in data layer contains the third-party functionality like conversion from JSON to JSON and from snapshot, etc. We have entities in domain layer, but the models are in the data layer. The reason behind this is we want to keep our domain layer independent from any third-party work, and this third-party work is then done by the model classes, the subclasses of the entity classes. And lastly, the use cases in clean architecture are the classes that encapsulates all the business logic of a particular use case of a particular feature of the app. So that was the quick recap of the domain layer. I hope you remember the first video on the domain layer of user auth. So that was it. So now it's time to implement the domain functionality for our post. So let's go to the domain layer. The domain layer, first we are going to implement the entities of the post. So first of all, let's create a directory in the domain layer. Inside the entities directory, right click on it, go to new and create a new directory and name it posts. Hit enter and next create the Dart file inside this and name it to post entity. Hit enter and your Dart file will be created in the post directory. Now to create our business object of post or entity, we have to create a class and name it to post entity. And also not forget to extend it with the equatable open body. This equatable is for value equality, so that we don't have to write the equality operators to string and hash code, etc. And now there is one missing override method. Hold Alt and press enter so this little window will appear in front of you. Select this create one missing override and hit enter. So one override will be created and leave it like this for now. So what our post entity will going to hold? So first of all, in the post entity we are going to have the post ID of the post, on which we will manipulate the post like to delete it, update it and other stuff. So let's create the ID field. That will be the final field and its type will be string post ID. So next in the post entity we are going to have final string and the creator UID. The creator UID, like who is creating the post. So the post creator ID will going to store in that field. And next from the creator UID we are gonna have final string and username of that user who is posting a post or creating a post. And next final field will going to be also the string and that will be the description of the post. And next field in our post entity will going to be final string post image URL. The image URL of the post. First we will upload this image to the cloud storage. From the method upload image to cloud storage, this will give us the URL. We will store it in our database. In the post collection we will create the post collection as we have the user collection in our database. So inside this post collection, there we're gonna have the post document. Inside this we will store the image URL which comes from the cloud storage in this post image URL, and then simply we will retrieve that and simply display it on the UI. So that was it, the post image URL. And next we are gonna have the list of string likes, meaning that there will be a list in our database. If some other user likes the post, we will store his ID in that list, and according to this we will display him the post that you have liked the post, and the favorite icon will become red, or we will change the color to red. So that will be the mechanism, like if someone liked the post, so his ID will be stored in the list and we will display the post favorite icon according to that. So that will be likes, and our post entity also going to contain the total likes of the post, and its type will be num, which means it also can be double or the integer. And next we are gonna have the num total comments, like how many comments are on this post. And next we are going to have final timestamp, which comes from the Cloud Firestore package, and this timestamp name will be create at the time on which the particular post is posted or created. And the last field in our post entity will be final string user profile URL. This will be the user profile URL which will be stored in the post entity, and then using that URL we will display the URL of that current user who just posted or created the post. And also make these fields nullable. So I want to make all the strings first nullable, so I will select this one string and hold Alt and J to select the next corresponding string, and again string, hit the J again and again, so this will select the next corresponding string, and then after this hit the right arrow and put the question mark there, so this will become nullable. And remove this question mark from this list of string, so this will be good, and make this whole list of string nullable, and also these nums, and lastly this timestamp. Now select or click one of the field and hold Alt and enter, so this little window will appear, and select the create constructor for final fields and hit enter. So this will create the constructor for all of these fields. Now go at the end, put comma here, and press the keys Ctrl Alt Shift and L, and after this hit enter, so the code will be formatted. And then make these fields name parameters in the constructor. Select them, hold Shift and the curly brace, so these will become name parameters. And after this, remove this throw unimplemented error from here and open a list, a dynamic list of objects we can say, and put all these fields. So in order to write them again, like writing post ID, creator ID again, let's copy these fields and paste them right here. And now select this keyword with this dot and hold Alt and J, select all these fields, not fields but these keywords with that a little dot, and hit backspace, so these will be removed. So that was it for this post entity. Our post gonna have the post ID on which we will manipulate our post. This equatable is for value equality, and the creator UID will be the ID of that user who created the post, and that username will be also the name of that user who is creating or posting the post, and description will be the description the user provided, and the post image URL will be the image the user has selected to upload, and these likes will be the list of string. In database, if some user likes a post, so inside that list there will be stored his or her ID. So using that ID, we will check if the list contains the ID, so we will display him the favorite icon red that you have now liked the post. And if you again click that post, that heart icon, so the like will be removed, or that ID from that list will be removed. And that was it. So we also want the total likes of the posts, so we also created the field for that, and the total comments and the time on which that particular post is created, and lastly the user profile URL to also show the profile URL of the user with the post. So that was it for the post entity. So that's all the data which we're going to store in the database. This is without the functionality like from JSON to JSON, and this will be covered in the next video. And in this video I also have a task for you. You will get to know about the task at the end of this video. And next, let's go for the repository to create the features of the post. Now right after this feature string upload image to storage, we will comment out post features, and these are the user features, and copy these features and paste it with this credential. So credential features, user features, cloud storage feature, and the post feature. So when it comes to the features of the post, we have the use case of uploading the post or creating that post in the Cloud Firestore database, and the next task is to read it, to display the data on the UI, reading the data we can say, and the next is to manipulate the data, edit it or delete it, and next is to like the post. So that will be some use cases or the features of that post. So let's create them. So let's copy this create user from here and paste it right here. This will be feature void, and we will name it create post, or you also can name it upload post, but that create post is more meaningful than uploading post because we have the CRUD operation CRUD in the database. So this make it more conventional and meaningful when we name it like create, read, update and delete instead of uploading and something else. So now instead of this user entity, we will pass the post entity as we are uploading the post. So it's obvious we will pass the post entity instead of the user and name it simply post. And after that, let's replicate this or duplicate this method 4 times. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now let's name this with the read posts, and its type will be stream list of post entity. So in the stream, in the live data, this will give us the list of post documents in the Cloud Firestore database, and then we will display them in the list view builder. So you will see this in the upcoming parts that how this will looks like. And the next method will be to update the post, and this will be just like this, post entity and post. And next will be to simply delete the post, and lastly we have like post. So these are the use cases or the task or the features for the post: create the post, read it, update it, delete it or like the post. So that was it for the posts. Now it's time to create the use cases for the post, but before this, if you can see, our repository is implemented with this Firebase repository implementation. So there is an compile time error. It says there are missing overrides. So I cannot leave the error like this. This is the video for the domain layer, and this repository implementation is in data layer, but I cannot leave this error like this. So I will just implement this because that's really simple. Hold Alt and enter. So this will appear, create 5 missing overrides, hit enter. And lastly, go to the Firebase repository and copy these methods from here. Go to the remote data source and also paste them in here, and import this post entity. And also in the remote data source implementation, we will just override these missing methods, but will not implement it right now because for that there will be another separate video to implement these methods. So now just to overcome this error or compile time error in the repository implementation, I just create them, and these will remain like this and will be implemented in the next future video. And here let's keep it like this, or let's do it for like this: async remote data source dot create user, not user but post. And next is delete the post. So async remote data source dot delete the post, and like post is same feature void. So we will do async remote data source dot like post, and then also remove this body from here as this is a stream, so this will not be async but simple arrow function remote data source dot read posts. And then update the post. This will be async remote data source dot update the post, and that was it. So in the later videos or in the next video, we will implement these methods. I am leaving them like that just because that's the video for the domain layer. So we have created the entity and then the methods in the repository, and now it's time to go for the use cases. So inside the Firebase use cases, we will create a new directory and will name it the post. So inside the post, we are gonna have the different files of Dart. So first we are gonna have create post use case, and then we are gonna have update post use case, and next we're going to be read post use case, and the next one will be delete post use case, and the last one is to like post, not lost but post use case. So this was just the file. Now to save our time, we will go to the create user and copy this method from here and come to the create post use case and simply paste it right here and import this Firebase repository and select this create user, hold Alt J to select the corresponding similar name create user and remove it and name it create post use case. And now remove this user entity from here and put the post entity and call the method from the repository to create post and change the name of this to post and post, and that was it. Now copy this use case from here, Ctrl A and Ctrl C, go to delete post, paste it right here, and again select this only create and hold Alt J to select the corresponding one and name it to delete post use case and simply change the name the method to delete post, and that's it. For the like, paste and select this and the corresponding like post use case and the like post, and for read post this we have to change the stream list of post entity and also the read posts, and for the update post we have to do the update post use case and simply call the method of update post. So that was the use cases for the post or the simple tasks. And now that was it for this video. We have created the post entity, that the data which we're going to store in the Firestore database, and we also created the methods of the post and the features, the use cases, and we also implement the Firebase repository implementation, and the we just create the methods here and leave the real implementation of these methods or the features there, and that was it. Now I have the task for you. If you watch this series from the first video, you might be familiar with the architecture. So the task is to simply create the model class for the post entity in the data layer. Here in the models, you simply have to create the directory post, and inside this there will be the post model, and just like this user model you have to extend this with the post entity and all the fields will remain the same, but in the user entity we have a little bit different. Like in the user entity we just we have these fields also. This will not store in DB, but we are just using them in our app. So in the post entity we don't have this case. These all fields will going to store in the database because there are no fields like that. So you just have to create the user entity, not the user entity but the post entity in the models, and simply create the fields just like this user entity and pass them in the super constructor and create the from snapshot method and to JSON. So that will be it. So that's the task for you. And that's really simple. Just do it if you have watched this series from first video, just because you might be familiar with the architecture. And for those who are new to this video, if you can do it, that's best, but if you can't, so we will do it together in the next video, no worry about that. So for those who have watched this series from the first video, I will be very happy if you do this task, and also if you do it, also let me know in the comment section, because this will make me happy that at least someone is here to learn from this course. So this will make me more passionate to create videos more daily and more on time. So that was it for the video. I hope this video was helpful. If so, show some love in the comment section, and also after completing the task, let me know. And also if you have some question, also ask me in the comment section, and also in the Instagram if you have questions. And that was it for the video. So now goodbye, and I will see you in the next video.